Hey guys, this is Elise here, coming today to bring you a nice little at-home restorative practice that you can do. So obviously I'm recording from home today, so that being said, life happens. My lovely dog Kai already wants to join in. So this is always a great reminder that our home practice doesn't always have to be exactly like it is when we're in our studio space. I always try to step away, get as much peace and quiet as I can at home, but my biggest takeaway is always just practice being present and letting go of your expectations so that you can enjoy your practice no matter what that looks like, even if you have four-legged friends joining you along the way. So today's practice, I'm actually going to link below and give you the link directly to the playlist I created. So if you want to add some music to enjoy along this practice as well, you will have that accessible. And if not, don't worry about it. You don't need music necessarily. So I am going to suggest today, before we get started, go ahead and grab a blanket of some sort, whatever you have available, because we are going to do a few postures that we're going to really utilize that blanket. I personally just like to get my blanket, roll it up a few times, and just have that handy for when we get started. All right, so we're going to get started today. So I invite you to go ahead and lie down and just place your head right on maybe a blanket or a pillow, or you can just lie flat on your mat. And start to feel that body relax into the ground. Maybe you feel those heels on the earth, the toes falling in opposite directions. Start to relax the hips and the glutes. Relax the shoulders, the neck, and the head. Let the eyelids become heavy, slowly drifting shut. And start to bring that awareness into your breath. Just take a moment as you're lying there. Notice the gentle flow of air traveling in and out of your nose. And then start to slowly deepen the breath. So with that next inhale, start to really feel those lungs expand, creating space. And as you exhale, let that air just flow all the way back out. Allow each round to become a little fuller, a little deeper. Starting to let go of any expectations you have today. Just allowing yourself to be in this present moment. Knowing that you've set aside a little slice of your day to come to your mat, to connect with your breath, and go ahead and honor yourself. Honor this time that you have. Beautiful. So today, before we get started, we're going to begin with one of my favorite breaths, which is our 3-part breath. So while you're lying down, maybe go ahead and bring those hands onto the chest. Maybe they just stack one on top of the other. And just start to notice the breath in your chest. As you inhale, you may start to feel the chest rise. As you exhale, it falls again. And just take 3 deep rounds of breath here. Big inhale, the chest expands and lifts. As you exhale, it falls back towards the earth. Taking 2 more. Beautiful. And then starting to add the second part of our breath. We're going to bring those hands onto our rib cage. So I personally like to bring those fingertips together to touch. Let the palms wrap around the ribs. And as you inhale, start to feel that breath come into the ribs. So as you inhale, those fingertips will probably start to draw further away as that rib cage expands. And then as you exhale, the fingertips will come back together. So go ahead and take 3 rounds at your own pace. Inhale, rib cage expands side to side. And as you exhale, it draws back together. Just 2 more. Last one. Beautiful. And then connecting that third part of our breath, go ahead and place those hands on the belly. So maybe right over that belly button. And now we're going to find that fullest breath. So as we inhale, it's going to travel down through the chest, through the ribs, until we can start to feel that belly expand with air, almost like a balloon filling up. And as we exhale, the stomach will deflate. Again, 3 more like that, finding that fullest belly breath. Awesome. And then one more step for us today is just to bring that all together. So while you're continuing to lie down, maybe place one hand on the heart and one hand on the stomach. So we'll walk through one together and then we'll all just take it at our own pace. So go ahead and release any air you're holding on to. Moving into that connected 3-part breath. On that inhale, start to feel the chest expand. As it goes deeper, the rib cage will expand. And as you find that fullest breath, the belly will inflate with air. And then reverse it as you exhale, deflate the belly, draw the rib cage together, feel the chest deflate. Beautiful. Another one just like that. Inhale, chest, ribs, belly, pausing with that fullest breath. And exhale, belly, ribs, chest. Beautiful. Taking it again. Inhale, chest, ribs, belly. Find that little hold. Exhale, belly, ribs, chest. And take 2 more at your own pace. Beautiful. And then after that last round of breath, go ahead and release those arms along the side body again. Let that breath return to a nice, comfortable, but full, natural breath. Beautiful. So as you're still lying down on your mat, go ahead and take a second just to gently rock the head side to side. Start to release some of that tension we may build up in the neck, especially as we all may be seated a little more often in front of our TV, trying to entertain ourselves. Beautiful. And let that head come back to a neutral position. Let's go ahead and draw that right knee in towards your chest. Give it a nice little squeeze. Perfect. Find a few circles in that right ankle. Once you go one direction a few times, go ahead and send it the other way. Then think about taking that right knee and start to pull it nice and wide towards the right shoulder. Open up your hip. Beautiful. And then we'll move into a twist. So take that right knee all the way across the body. So we're going to let that right hip stack on top of the left hip. This is a great place if you need a little support for that knee. You can grab a block, a pillow, anything that you have lying around, and just place underneath that knee for a little bit of support. Keeping that right arm nice and wide. Maybe that palm faces down. You can either keep the gaze up towards the ceiling or start to gaze towards the right fingertips. Find that nice deep twist. Try to relax the feet, relax the shoulders. Perfect. Then start to unravel. Start to bring that right knee back into the chest, lying flat on the spine, giving the knee another squeeze in close to the body. Go ahead and adjust that grip onto the back of your thigh. Start to point those toes up towards the ceiling. Ooh, my hamstrings are tight today, so maybe give it a second. You can keep that nice big bend in the knees. Hi, Kai, welcome. And again, as that leg kind of lifts up towards the sky, lay down, Kai. Give that foot a few circles in both directions. Perfect. Then start to bend and straighten the leg. Noticing each time maybe that leg becomes a little straighter. Oh, thank you for the ball. Perfect. And start to hug that right knee back into the chest one more time. Give it another little squeeze. And then relax that right leg long, switching out sides. Left knee draws into the chest. First pausing here, squeezing the knee towards the heart. Again, give that left ankle a few circles. Perfect. Then start to draw that left knee wider towards the left shoulder so you can open up the hip. And then moving into that twist one more time, left knee comes all the way across the body, adjusting so the left hip can stack on top. Knowing again, you can grab that support underneath that left knee. Let that left shoulder, left arm relax down. Either gaze up towards the sky or over towards the left fingertips, starting to really wring out the spine here. Beautiful. Take one more breath. Start to unravel from that twist. Bring that left knee right back into the heart, giving it another squeeze. Then grab onto the back of the thigh. Start to point those toes up to the ceiling. If your hamstrings are nice and tight like mine are today, maybe keep that nice big bend in the knees. Start to find circles with the ankle again. Make sure to find both directions. Beautiful. Then start to bend and straighten the leg. Start to really warm up the hamstring. Wake up those tight muscles. Beautiful. And then go ahead and release that leg, relax it down. So here's where that blanket that we grabbed today is going to come into play. So go ahead and make sure it's nice and rolled up. This is one of my favorite stretches to do kind of before bed. It's really nice for the whole spine. So we're going to take this blanket. We're going to lie it at the top of our mat. And when we lay down, we're going to start by bringing that blanket right at the base of our skull, supporting our neck. So go ahead and rest the body down onto your rolled up blanket. And kind of bring it right into the nape of the neck so that head's almost gently kind of relaxing off the blanket. The shoulders are relaxing down into the mat. And just let those arms release along the side body. Let the toes fall away. And just breathe here for a moment. You're really starting to create space throughout your neck. Releasing tension. I really find this gives me a lot of relief if I'm having tension and headaches. This can just add that little bit of space in the base of the neck to help kind of relieve some of that pressure. So in each of these postures that we're going to do with this blanket, we're going to hold it for 5 breaths. So take about 3 more. as we start to move on, maybe go ahead and just lift yourself up a little bit. Maybe you just use those forearms. We're going to adjust that blanket to come right underneath the shoulder blades. So I like to rest kind of right across that kind of mid to upper back. Feeling those shoulder blades rest onto the blanket now. You're going to want to relax that head all the way down. And then start to bring those arms nice and wide out into that T shape, palms facing up. So this is really nice too because you have control over that blanket. The more it's rolled up, obviously a little higher you're going to lay, which can be a little more intense of a back bend. So if you need to flatten out the blanket a little bit, feel free to do so. Just find a position where you're comfortable in it. We never need to have any posture super intense. And then once you find it, let's go ahead and settle in for those nice 5 big deep breaths. And we'll start to adjust that one more time. So this time we're going to slide that blanket from underneath the shoulders a little lower now underneath that lower back, right in that kind of natural arch in our spine. And again, relax the head, relax the shoulders now into the mat. Normally I like to kind of adjust my arms from being out wide a little closer to my sides and kind of let those palms flip up. Start to really let that blanket now support the low back. You may feel the belly a little more lifted. And again, settle in for 5 deep breaths. Perfect. We're going to adjust our blanket one last time. So if those feet are nice and long, go ahead and plant the feet on the floor for a second. We can do a little lift of the hips, just enough that we can slide that blanket a little lower. So we're going to rest our hips on the blanket. So you have 2 options here. We're going to take a really gentle bridge. So you can keep those feet planted, the knees about hip distance apart, and just feel a little more supported here. Or if it's comfortable for the body, you can extend those legs long again, letting those toes fall apart. And just like before, enjoy 5 nice deep breaths here. Starting to lengthen through the front side of the body. Feeling that little lift of the hips. And just settling in. Awesome. So we're going to come out of this one more time. So place those feet back on the floor. Make sure those hands are along the side body. Start to lift the hips just a smidge. Let's slide that blanket out from underneath us and slowly lower those hips back down to the ground. Once we're there, take that nice little windshield wiper side to side with the knees. Giving ourselves a little back massage, a little movement in the hips. Beautiful. So when you're ready, just kind of roll all the way over onto one side. Gently press yourself up to a seat, taking your time. And we're just going to meet on the glutes and into a butterfly pose. So let's bring the soles of the feet together to touch in front of you. I know you have some options here. Since we have that blanket handy, it always is a nice option to maybe unravel it and use it as a little cushion for the glutes so you can sit on that blanket. And then with the feet, you can either draw them nice and close to the body, really targeting those hips, Or you can extend those feet a little further away, letting that stretch move into the thighs, the hamstrings, even the IT band a little bit. Just kind of play with where that happy space is for you today. On that next inhale, let's lengthen through the spine, sit nice and tall, relax the shoulders back and down, and breathe into it for a moment. On that next inhale, let's sweep those arms nice and wide, so to open the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. We're going to come into an eagle wrap with the upper body, so bring that right arm underneath the left. First option is to come into that little hug here, really pulling those shoulders away. Or if eagle wrap is in your practice, maybe the backs of the hands start to touch, or you can even bring the palms of the hands all the way together to touch. Let the eyelids become heavy again and enjoy 3 deep breaths this time. Beautiful. On that next inhale, unravel the arms. Let the arms reach nice and wide. Other side, left arm underneath, and then find your variation. Whatever feels best for this side. Sometimes one shoulder is a little different than the other. Perfect. Just like before, unravel those arms, sweep them wide. Beautiful. Then start to reach both those arms up towards the ceiling. Feel a little lift, but draw those shoulder blades down, shoulders away from the ears. Perfect. Now start to reach up and over to the right. Maybe that bottom arm comes down to the ground. You can feel that lengthening through the left side body. Perfect. Then float it all the way up and over. Other side. Feeling that top shoulder kind of rotating up and back. Perfect. Inhale, sweep both those arms up overhead. Exhale, release those arms down through heart center. Kai. Lay down, both up. And then from here, we're just going to melt into a forward fold. So maybe those hands come onto the legs or the ground in front of you. Knowing you can stay a little higher with a flat back, especially if that back feels a little more tender today. Or you can start to round the upper spine down, imagining the forehead melting towards the feet. As you relax here, just really let the whole back side of the body open gently. And really connect with that breath. While we're here, maybe you walk those fingertips over to the right edge of your mat. Kind of melt over the leg. Adding that nice little side body stretch. Beautiful. Then walk those hands all the way over to the other side. Perfect. Bring those hands back to center. Go ahead and gently walk yourself up, returning to that nice tall seat. Go ahead and place the hands behind you for support. Plant the feet on the ground. Maybe walk them a little wider so they're kind of at the edges of your mat. And take that nice big windshield wiper side to side. Really moving slow. I really like that internal rotation here. So maybe just kind of pausing as that knee falls down towards the ground. And then moving to the other side. And go ahead and come back to center. From here, we're going to take that nice wide leg stance. So go ahead and find what feels wide to you today. So know that wide is 100% relative. If that means the legs are a little closer together, that's a great option. If you can bring them even further apart, great. But I want you to first focus on sitting nice and tall. So this is really where I really enjoy having this blanket here. It gives you that little lift of the hips, which helps shift the pelvis. And if the inner thighs and the hips and the groin are a little tighter today, maybe we just keep those hands behind us for support and just kind of relax into it here. This can be what our shape looks like today. Just going ahead and melting into that forward fold. Maybe letting the head sink forward. And give yourself a few breaths here. And just like we did from that butterfly pose, maybe you walk those hands over towards the right foot. Maybe the hands just gently frame the foot, or you may even want to walk a little higher up. Just letting that heart shine towards the toes. And maybe after a few breaths, you find that space to round over the leg. Beautiful. Coming all the way over to the other side. Same thing, maybe taking that moment to be a little more lifted. Focus on that slight twist through the torso. Heart shines towards the foot. And then maybe after a few breaths, you're able to sink a little deeper. Beautiful. Go ahead and come back to center one more time. Slowly walk yourself up to a nice tall seat. Then grab onto the back of the thighs, gently bring those feet back onto the floor, walking them together. Another little windshield wiper to shake it out. Beautiful. And then from here, we're just gonna work our way back down to our mat. So maybe go ahead and move that blanket out of your way, using it as a pillow one more time. And go ahead and rest all the way down onto the floor. And just like before, go ahead and place the feet on the mat. Take another windshield wiper side to side. Let that back kind of readjust to the nice flat surface. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and draw both those knees into the chest, giving yourself a little squeeze here. Maybe another little rock back and forth. And then we're going to take a happy baby pose. So starting to flex those feet up towards the sky, drawing the knees down. So you have the option, you can grab onto the thighs here. Maybe you grab on towards the ankles or the shins. Or you can even start to reach for the bottoms of the feet. Again, either choosing to be a little more stagnant, just flexing the feet, drawing the knees down. Or taking that movement with a little rock side to side. Beautiful. From there, maybe even feeling free to play with kind of extending one leg than the other. Find any other movement that feels good for you. Awesome. Let's go ahead and draw the feet together to touch. Release them all the way down to your mat. Let those arms come out wide, up overhead, kind of framing the face, almost like goalpost arms. Just take a second for that gentle opening of the heart, gentle opening of the hips, letting the body feel open, receiving, humble. From here, start to slide those legs along. Relax those arms along the side body. And go ahead and settle into your final resting pose. So my suggestion is just to lie there comfortably on your mat. However, feel free if you're more comfortable in a seat, or if you need to grab a pillow or a blanket or anything to make you feel more supported and comfortable here. Now's your time to do so. And then go ahead and start to get comfortable. So one more time, really feel the body relax and melt into the floor. Reconnect with the breath, that beautiful flow of air traveling in and out of your body. And then today we're going to take a little body scan as part of our Shavasana. So I want you to go ahead and bring that awareness all the way down into your toes. Try to feel all 10 toes separately and individually. So to bring that awareness to the sole of the foot, to the tops of the feet, to the ankles and the heels. And feel the feet just completely relax. Start to bring that awareness up the legs, wrapping across the shins and into your calves. Feeling the muscles relax and almost melt off the bone. Softening the knees, softening the thighs, softening the hips and the glutes. Allowing the whole lower body just to melt into the floor. Then bringing that awareness up the spine. So kind of imagine one vertebra at a time. Gently softening and relaxing down. Starting to feel the shoulder blades on the mat. Tops of the shoulders relaxing away from the ears. Feeling the weight of the arms, the elbows, the forearms, and the wrist. Feeling all 10 fingers again. Feeling the backs of the hands melt into the floor and the palms shine up for that receiving energy. And bring that awareness one last time into the base of the neck, feeling the weight of the head on the floor, relaxing the scalp, relaxing the face, feeling the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyelids, relaxing the cheeks, the jaw, the lips. And then finally releasing the tongue from the roof of your mouth and settling into this place of relaxation and stillness. Connecting with your breath one last time. Allowing yourself to just be still and present. As we gently relax the body in, slowly waken it back up. So first, just feel that flow of air again. In and out of the nose if our sinuses allow. That inhale is cool and refreshing. And that exhale releases any tension that may remain. Each inhale can grow a little deeper, inviting energy back into the body. And then maybe starting to wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. Moving the wrist and the ankles. And then while you're lying down, go ahead and reach the arms up overhead. Take that full body good morning stretch. Lengthen fingertips to toes one last time. And then start to draw both the knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug, just like we did before. One last opportunity to find movement, whether that's a rock back and forth on the spine. Maybe you find some circles with the knees. And then just go ahead and roll onto your favorite side body. Maybe use that bottom arm as a pillow for the head. Finding that posture of rebirth. And then from there, use that free hand to gently press yourself up. Coming into a nice comfortable seat for you. Maybe it's legs crossed or legs long. Letting those hands come to rest on your lap. Shoulders relax back and down one last time. Maybe letting the eyes become heavy again. Lifting through the seat. A little tuck of the chin. Hands can stay on the lap or float to heart center. Bowing your head. Taking that last little moment of gratitude. Feel gratitude for this time you were able to spend on your mat today. Gratitude for your health and well-being. And gratitude for all that surrounds you. And know that even from afar, the light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste.